All right, welcome to the Browns Wire podcast. This is your host, Josh Keatley, with me after a long romantic week in Las Vegas, at California. You went everywhere. You traveled the country at this point with your lady friend, Donovan James. Donovan, how you feeling, man? You feeling fresh? Because you just got back today, right?
Yeah, I did. Last time y'all saw me, I had the mustache going. I got a beard now. I got hair again. I got hair again under the ball cap or the Lakers cap. Lakers lost today, sadly, but it was cool watching. I just watched Phil Mickelson win PGA Championship, oldest golfer ever to win a major. That was really cool. It was a historic moment. So
can I just say? Can I interrupt for 1 second?
Yeah.
I love, even on vacation, how in tune you are. It's not just football, because you are a football expert. Donovan is a bona fide football expert, as evidenced by me hitting you up this week. You were on vacation. I asked you the top 10 quarterbacks of next year's class. I also texted you completely for your vacation about a recruit, the best traits, yada, yada, yada. Text me back within 5 minutes, right off the cuff without looking anything up. And then the man on the first 2 minutes of the Browns Wire podcast talks about the Lakers and then goes straight to golf. I'm blown away by your vast sports knowledge, because I didn't know the Lakers lost. Yeah, I knew Phil Mickelson won.
Playoffs just started, man. So it's just like I got NBA playoffs to watch. I got golf championship just happened, and MLB is kind of heating up a little bit. Boys of summer, free agency and draft stuff still to talk about. College football, everything, man. It's fun. I mean, this is this is like one of the best times in sports for me, just because I'm like a big basketball fan, and I'm getting into baseball more this year. Kind of back.
Really?
Yeah, baseball. I got back into baseball last year. It was just more it's really fun. Like they kind of changed a few of the rules, so it made it more fun. Honestly, but still, obviously, we're a football show. But I'm just happy to be back on, man. It was a cool vacation though. In Vegas too, when you have the sports book in front of you, it's like,
oh yeah,
yeah, like you gotta look at everything. So it was cool. Shout out Ryan Swartz. I met up with him out there. Former, I guess, guest on our old show. Used to do some high school football recruiting, college football. Pick him every week with us. He did that too. Makes crazy draft picks all the time. So that was fun, man. I had a great time. Malibu, best beach, dude. Got to go to Malibu one day.
Oh, yeah?
It's dope, dude. It's peaceful. It's not a crazy beach. It's just like a bunch of rich people up in the hill and then down the hill, the beach.
I heard that.
Yeah, it's just peaceful, though. It's chill. But San Diego was fun. It was all fun, man. Vegas.
San Diego's dope. I've been to San Diego. Yeah. San Diego is dope.
Yeah, San Diego's dope. Vegas was Vegas. Lost a bunch of money, but it's cool.
How much money did you lose? Did we talk about gambling on here? So this is relevant.
I can't say how much, but too much.
Was your girl mad at you for how much you lost?
No, but she won.
She won?
Dude, she won on a 20 penny or quarter slot machine. She won I can tell you how much, like $154 on a quarter slot machine.
A quarter? Wow. That happened to Justine too. She went to the Walking Dead machine.
Beginner's luck.
Yep. She went to the Walking Dead machine and she popped in $1. It was at Hard Rock. I think, yeah, it was Hard Rock. And then she won $300. It was her very first time on a slot machine. And then from that point on, she would only play the Walking Dead slot machine, which, as you know, they say to never do the trademarked ones. No. What did your girl win on? What would you remember the specific one?
Wheel of Fortune, which is one of
really? So it was a trademarked one too?
Yeah, it was. Those are actually there's so many Wheel of Fortune ones though. Yeah, you'll find a lot of those. But yeah, she won on Wheel of Fortune one. So
that's hilarious.
I think she won on blackjack too. Roulette.
Oh, roulette!
I taught her how to do roulette, and she won. So I just kept letting her play. I was over it.
What was your game of choice that you lost all your money on?
Blackjack.
I'm a big blackjack guy too.
Yeah, I hate it, man. Blackjack, roulette, and then craps. All the craps tables were so full. I could never get on them, man. Everybody's a crap expertise, I guess, in Vegas, because it was
craps.
Tough.
Gives me anxiety, dude.
Me too. It really does. It was tough for me to get on the table. I tried.
Yeah, everybody when you play craps, even at the Columbus Casino, it's everybody is very intent on what they're doing. Yeah. And I feel like I'm interrupting a groove. You know what I mean? So I'm just I don't know the rules well enough to be able to jump in confidently. So I'm nah, screw it. I'll just go back to blackjack.
Exactly.
You know what I
mean? I know exactly what you mean. I'm the exact same way. I was looking at it to try to see how it works. Like I know how it works. I've watched videos. I've played it before, but really like kind of I guess retrain myself. And there's this guy looking at me like, get the hell out of here. Like maybe I messed up his mojo. I might have messed up his mojo walking over there. I don't know.
What was your number one? You guys stayed at the D, right?
Yeah, the D we stayed there, but man, like if y'all have to check out Circa, which is the guy that owns the D. He is a new hotel. It's the biggest pool in Vegas.
Really?
There's 6 pools. There's 134-inch, or excuse me, 134-foot TV with like 20 different things on it. There's a sports book outside of the pools. There's daiquiris. There's like bottle grills. This is just outside.
Where?
It's crazy. It's brand new.
I know it's
insane.
on the Strip, but it's over by Circus. It's past like
The D?
Wynn. No, the D's on Fremont, right?
Yeah, that's where Circa is. Circa is on.
Oh,
Fremont.
Circa's on Fremont too.
Yeah, it's across the street. They just.
I think
It's
I don't
brand
think
new.
I've been there since they built Circa.
Circa opened like 3 months ago.
Yeah, that makes sense because they were the first one. No, they were open last year for. I know that their sports book was open for betting college football last year, right?
It was open, yeah. I think it was like not done fully though, because
Yeah.
like they opened it right before like Corona happened.
Yeah, because they released the lines before everybody, typically.
It's the biggest
like if-
sports book, yeah.
Yeah,
We still
I
got
believe that.
Westgate, on the Strip, but
Yeah, but I believe
Circa-
Circa was released because when we were doing the show last year and we were doing bets against the spread and whatnot, I was pulling a lot of those lines from Circa because they got them so much faster than everybody
we
else.
do, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Circa's dope, man. Check that out. That was fun, but yeah, we stayed at the D Fremont. Always solid. Place.
Always love it, dude. You got a regular spot.
I just like staying. Yeah, I just like staying there. It's where it's my spot, man.
Well, did you hang out on the Strip at all?
We did.
Yeah, obviously, right? Yeah.
We did, yeah, late, like really late at night. So she didn't get the full experience of it, but we hung out there. Yeah, it was cool. I like the Strip every time I go. But I mean, Fremont's popping, man, kind of like right now. Like
Fremont's wild, dude.
It's wild. That's the party. The Strip is cool. It's fun. Like there's so much to do. MGM, I always have to stop at MGM because I've won money there, so I always have to stop in.
It's a tradition.
It's kind of a tradition. MGM's cool. I like MGM. They have
MGM is cool.
It's huge, and you have everything. I mean. Took her to man. We went to so many different places. It's hard to remember, but MGM I remember is one of them. We actually did go to Circus. It was so run down,
dude. It's bad, bro.
It's horrible. That was the first hotel I ever stayed at when I was a kid.
Oh, really?
Like,
well, it's the most family friendly, right?
It was. You don't want to.
It's rough.
I'm not trying to take my family to Circus, even though it's only $29 a night. Which is cheap.
Is that right? It's only $30 a night.
$30 a night,
dude. But it's kind of you know what though? It's not really. It's on the Strip, but it's you have to walk by like 3 strip malls.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like if you stay at like,
we were there at like midnight, bro. Walking, I was like, yeah, I gotta get out of here. Like,
yeah, like you're on the Strip, but like not really. Like you know what I mean. Like if you stay at like Bally's or like the Cromwell or whatever, like that's like you if you walk out, you can see casinos across the street and like. 360 around you, but Circus, like you walk out front, it's like apartment complexes and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. It's sketchy too.
yeah. It's not. I mean, I don't know if it's sketchy, but it's definitely it's exhausting. Like it's like, oh man, we messed up. We're not on the Strip anymore. Like this is like, you know what I mean? It's like a 6-hour walk, dude. But yeah, but that's dope, man. Congratulations. I know that you said that meeting the family went well for you and all that good stuff.
Yeah, we did not get married, by the way. So a lot of people asked me. We saw we saw Little Whitechapel and everything, but
yeah.
No.
Did you go see any shows?
No, well, like some of the street performers in Fremont, that doesn't really count, I guess. But I went to Nashville last night and saw a bunch of.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah,
I was at.
You had a big weekend, dude.
Dude, it was crazy. So crazy. Yeah.
So I like that you said you recommended to go to Malibu because I had a buddy that went to Malibu last year, and he said it was one of the worst vacations he ever took.
Really? Why?
Yeah, he said it was. He said it was so. First of all, he said most of the beach was private, so there's like a little section that you were able to go on, like you couldn't really explore. And then he said that all the restaurants were so expensive that like there was no. It wasn't like. Now, granted, this is someone who's used to going down to like. Panama City Beach. So you know what I mean?
Dang.
But he says it feels like you're just like kind of suffocated in what you can and can't do.
I mean, the whole vacation there, like I don't know how long he was there.
I've never been.
We were only there for a day, so that's that's not really like I wouldn't stay there for longer than like a day. So
Yeah,
he's kind of right.
I think he flew out there for he was like doing the California thing, so he flew out there. He was on that area for like 3 days or whatever.
He could just went down to Santa Monica, man. It's right down the PCH, like 30 minutes. Santa Monica's got
Dude,
Santa Monica's way. If you're like trying to like not spend as much money and try to be like all bougie and stuff, just go down to Santa Monica on the pier, dude. Get some homeless dudes yelling at you. You know, you get to still have the California feel, still a little bouginess. You know?
I would have. I've been to LA and I've been to San Diego, but that's about it.
Yeah, tell him to go to Santa Monica next time.
It's funny too that he was bitching about the money because that's the same dude that went down to Disney for 13 straight days. I was like, oh my god, bro.
Disney World?
Yeah, dude. I was like, you filed bankruptcy after that? Jesus Christ, that's a shit ton. 13 days is 2 weeks.
That's a lot of money.
No shit, man. But anyways, this is a Browns podcast. We're gonna take it a little bit light today because Donovan's getting back. You know, I don't want to take it easy on him. So this will be more of a light podcast. We're just gonna touch on the Julio Jones stuff. Obviously, Twitter was a fire with the Julio Jones. I know Pete Smith of Brown Sports Illustrated, the Browns site, had a theoretical article about the Browns adding Julio Jones. PFF tweeted out, the ideal trade for Julio Jones. I think they had the Browns trade next year, second, third, and like a second the next year for Julio and a sixth or something silly like that. And then someone had the Browns trading Jarvis Landry and a couple of picks for Julio Jones. And half the Browns Twitter was upset because they think Jarvis Landry is better than Julio Jones, which we'll get to that. We'll get to our thoughts on that. But Donovan, you're already laughing. What is your big takeaway from all of this Julio Jones nonsense?
It was kind of cool for me. For one, I was on vacation, so I was kind of late on it. But I was obviously on
it's not real news. It's not real. I mean, you and I are
not real news. But
you talk to Eric more than I do. But Eric, we've talked about this on your show about the idea, because this is not new. The idea of the Falcons dumping cap is not new, and Eric basically shot that down immediately. The Julio Jones stuff. This was 4 months ago.
It was. I mean, it was cool for me just because like doing the Browns Wire podcast, being like on Browns Twitter and a part of it now is fun, and then living in Atlanta for so long, that area, like 7 years. So I know the polls. I still listen to a lot of Atlanta Talk Radio and podcasts and stuff like that, and they don't want to see Julio go. I mean, he's
duh.
I mean, obviously, the whole point of drafting Kyle Pitts was because they want to win right now and kind of build that offense for Arthur Smith. And, Matt Ryan's last couple of years left. He threw out the first pitch today, the Braves game. So he looked like he was in a good mood, but he won't be if number 11's gone, obviously. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I get what they're saying with the cap space and dump, but I would give this – I would let Julio ride it out. I know he's hurt on the reg kind of lately, but –
Is he really, though? What are the statistics behind that? Because I don't view him as like an injury-prone person.
He's just missed so many. It's hamstring issues, man. That I know Shannon Sharp was saying when you're 33-year-old receiver, I mean he's not gonna get any better. Like Julio Jones is still top 10, but hamstring injuries is just like. I mean, he's missed now he started off his career not missing any games, but then the past few years, ever since the Super Bowl run, really he'll miss 2 games or get hurt in one and get pulled out, and then miss 4 games here and there. But he's always on the questionable list. Like last year, I think he missed a bunch of games. They end up just shutting him out last year just because their season was a dump anyway. So hopefully that'll help out. He'll be healthy and it looks healthy. He looks still good when he's on the field. But he's had some knick-knack injuries, man, here and there especially the last 2 years. But I get it. They have honestly Calvin Ridley to me is not even at his peak yet. So he's the number one.
Not even at his peak yet.
His age kind of bothers me because, he did come out. This is why analytic guys get mad at age because I just said that. Calvin Ridley's already 26 years old, even though he's his third year because he was 23 when he got drafted. So that's why a lot of analytical guys don't want to draft people at 23 years old.
Is this what year was Ridley drafted?
This is his 4th year. So
it'll be his 4th year.
And Ridley was 23 and a half years old.
He's great. Drafted. He's a number one.
He's still. You can debate if he's 1 or 2 or not. He's a top receiver in the NFL regardless.
Yeah, he's good.
I mean, you got him, Russell Gage, Pitts. You got to add Julio to that because they don't really have much of a running game. Even though I do like Mike, from the Panthers. What's his last name? I can't think of his last name right now. I'm drawing a blank. They just got they got the Panthers running back, not McCaffrey, the one that. Tolbert, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, as far as Julio, they're going to the Browns. What you're asking me? I don't think he's going to get traded at all. I think it's kind of BS. But if he does get traded, I don't really think the Browns is one of the teams that he'll go to. Honestly, I think there's another team in the division, Baltimore, that's way more likely. Obviously, the Patriots are a lot likely if it's going to happen. There's other teams I've seen in there. The Cowboys are now. They don't need him because they're fine at receiver. I saw him wearing the Cowboys shirt though. I think he probably just grew up a Cowboys fan or something. Like he's from Alabama,
right?
Yeah, I mean he's from Alabama. Like they don't have a team there. I mean, that Falcons and probably a lot of Cowboys fans. I wouldn't read into that picture too much. Him wearing a Cowboys gear or whatever. But I don't know. We'll see. I've even seen Miami. That'd be interesting. Because I mean they could use him.
Hell yeah.
The Browns don't need him, but I mean if you have Odell Beckham Jr. and Julio Jones with those tight ends and Nick Chubb, like I already think the Browns are like a top 5 favorite to win the Super Bowl if they get Julio Jones. Like I mean, I think so. And if they get Julio Jones, like you guys might be having parades before the season starts.
No shit.
Cleveland. And I know Cleveland fans love Jarvis. I love Jarvis. Jarvis is a class act. He's great. But that ain't Julio Jones, bro. Like, he's never been Julio Jones. Even Julio on a down year is pretty much like still better than Jarvis.
Well, it's not an insult to Jarvis Landry, too.
Julio's one of the top problem. Receivers of all time, in my opinion.
I mean, he's consistently maybe. That's not you're not insane.
Maybe not right now. Maybe
you're not insane for thinking that. You're not insane for thinking that at all. But he's perennial. He's every year in and out. Even despite the injury concerns or whatever, on his down year, he's still a top 5 wide receiver. Like there's really, I don't think you can make. I feel like I'm being generous when I say that too. Like I feel like you know what I mean. Like I think an argument can be made if you go through every year of his career. There's very few years where you wouldn't rank him in the top 2. You know what I mean? Like there's just he's on a different level. You could be. That's the problem with I think that's the problem with Browns Twitter is that they're thinking that every time you think someone's better, it's an insult. And you kind of saw the same thing with Aaron Rodgers and Baker Mayfield, and that was a little different because Baker Mayfield is so much younger than Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah. So you could make more of an argument for it, right? But Julio Jones, you can make more of an argument against that, but people were still taking it like, well, Baker Mayfield is, just as good. And it's just like, well, no one's saying Baker Mayfield sucks, right? And no one's saying Jarvis Landry sucks. Jarvis Landry is a good wide receiver. He's I think he's the top 20 receiver. Would you say?
I'd say top 25 at least.
Sure, yeah, it'd be that's off the top of my head. So maybe I might be wrong. Maybe it is 25, but I feel like I'm off the top of my head. I struggle to name 20 receivers that are better than that. That's good. That's good. That's
He's
really
still
good.
Pretty young. I mean, how old is Jarvis? 28.
I don't know. He ain't old, but
27, 28.
But the difference between him and Jarvis Landry or Julio Jones, and the difference between Baker Mayfield and Aaron Rodgers is noticeable. Yeah, Landry's 28. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So
the Baker Mayfield argument, I can understand why people were more upset, but the Jarvis, it's like, dude, man, I'm a huge Jarvis Landry fan. We've had people on this show. We had Sam Penix on the show, and he doesn't like Jarvis Landry. He says Jarvis Landry is not worth the money. They need to find a way to get rid of that contract. And I sat here and said, no, disagree. I disagree. You said it too. But we're both two guys that are sitting here saying, dude, Julio Jones is better, right? Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I get the side of people trying to, I had a buddy of mine who's a Browns fan that's wishing Jarvis Landry get traded too because of that contract. He was like, just put Hollywood as a 2 slot.
I don't know why they're so eager to get rid of Jarvis.
I was like, you can't. I like Higgins, but you can't replace Landry with Higgins. Like I like Higgins a lot actually for his role right now, but moving him up to that means if Odell gets hurt again, Higgins is gonna be your number 1 receiver. And that's not good. Like what I mean? That's not gonna. Because I look at depth a lot, so I'm thinking Odell.
Yeah.
Gets hurt. Like if he goes down, Jarvis Landry's a 1, which we saw last year was fine. Like he can make plays, but you lose that and don't replace. I mean, replace him with Julio, that's different. But if you're replacing him with Higgins, like just imagine Josh, like Higgins number 1 receiver. That's not gonna. You're not gonna win the Super Bowl with Higgins as number 1 receiver. I'm sorry. Like
I don't have an issue with Higgins
Or
being
DPJ. Sorry, I can't forget about Donovan Jones.
yeah, that's the thing. But let's say that something happens and Landry and OBJ are no longer with the Browns, and your wide receivers are Higgins, DPJ,
The Switzer.
yeah, I guess Kadero Hodge,
Hodge, yeah, forgot about him.
Demetric Felton, I guess, would be in that role. I don't think that is terrible given the Browns' elite set of tight ends, right?
True.
With Harrison Bryant, Austin Hooper, and David Njoku, and their elite set of running backs. But you're right in the sense of people look at the stats that Rashard Higgins has put up and his efficiency, and he's much more efficient than Jarvis Landry. But Jarvis Landry is – I don't think that means Higgins is better than Jarvis Landry. You run a fine line. I love Higgins. I ran out and I got a signed Colorado State helmet. I've talked about him winning me a – dude, I love Higgins. I loved it since his junior year at Colorado State. The dude's a freak. He's great. He's great. He's electric. I don't know why people – to say that Higgins is definitely better than Jarvis Landry to me is a little insane. I don't know why you know what I mean? There's people that I think we could have a conversation about it. I don't think so. I'm always going to have Landry higher, but we can sit down and have a conversation. I'll listen to you, but I don't know how you people are so confident that Higgins is better. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, it makes sense. It's just that people think you can replace somebody. I mean, I get what they're saying, like value-wise. Oh, you can replace him and save money, but I'm like, you got to look at the depth chart, man. Like, that's not a thing I want to have on my team for Baker Mayfield. You're trying to get this guy to be an elite quarterback. I mean, he's already an elite quarterback, but you want him to be Baker Mayfield could be he's already one of the best quarterbacks. He could be up there. I don't have him up there with Mahomes and all those guys yet, but I think he could be an MVP. That's all I'm trying to say. Like, they're going to run the football anyway. But at the end of the day, if the Browns win the Super Bowl, it's got to be on number 6's back, dude. It's going to have to be Baker Mayfield. Like, they can run the ball if they want, but Baker Mayfield is going to make plays. Like, and he has to have the receivers, though. And that's the part of Baker Mayfield maturation. I think he can be a MVP candidate next year if Odell's healthy. If everybody's healthy on the offense, I mean, he's got this great O-line. I think, like I keep saying, he's got the best O-line in football. Maybe the Colts have the best O-line. That's fine. But top 5 O-line.
Yeah.
Great coach that believes in them. Their attack. I mean, Browns just everything is there for them to win right now. And bringing in Julio would be great. Like I said, I just don't think that's
be awesome.
I don't think that's the thing they're gonna do.
I think that they are. I think that if this front office has proven anything, it's that they're calling on anybody and everybody. And I think that they proved that last year when Cam Newton was a free agent and we heard that they were talking about Cam Newton. That wasn't an indictment of Baker Mayfield. It's just this franchise is looking over every rock. Yeah. And I love it. If you can go get, you don't know until you try. It's just like the DeAndre Hopkins thing. Grant, we're not in front offices, right? At the end of the day, we don't know what all went down. But what we do know is after that trade happened, everybody in the world was going, what? For that? That's what you got for DeAndre Hopkins? Right? So my assumption, let's assume that these are normal individuals. I would assume that half the NFL franchises were kicking themselves in the ass saying, what? Man, we could have got DeAndre for that. You know what I mean? You don't know unless you try with Julio either. If you sit back and let it play out. Dude, I mean, that PFF trade where they were giving up a second and a third for him, God damm, that's nothing. I do that tomorrow for Julio.
That's why I don't think that trade's going to happen because the Falcons want a lot more for him than like what the media is saying. Is what it kind of.
How do we know that though?
It just sounds like listening to insiders like from the Atlanta people that's like even Ben Albright. Like he's not an Atlanta guy, he's Colorado, but the Broncos have been one of the teams in the offers, and it's like it sounds like they want a lot more because I feel like that trade would have happened on draft night.
Well, again, and Eric, let's say, and maybe because Eric said the same. Eric said the same thing.
Well,
Eric Robinson, alcoholic.
Yeah. He's been on the beat. He knows.
Yes, and he's been very much very dismissive of the Julio Jones trade as well. And I believe Eric. I'm 100% in on Eric. It's just it is hard not to think about because Julio is such a badass, and it would be cool. But man, I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. I get what
I think they want a first, third, and like a receiver back, like a receiver really like they want to move Calvin Ridley up to a 1, so they don't need a 1 back. Like that's why Jarvis Landry would be fine. Like I think, but are you going to give up a first and a third and Jarvis for Julio straight up? Because that
I don't
makes
know.
it.
I would
That's a lot.
strongly consider it. I would strongly consider it. I would strongly consider it. Julio Jones is a top 5 wide receiver in my mind. He's a difference maker. But with that said, I don't know if they can ask that much. Julio isn't aging; he's aging, and they're in salary cap hell. And I know that you said that they drafted Kyle Pitts because you feel like they're going all in. And I think Eric said something similar to you.
Yeah, they have. I mean, Hayden Hurst is still pretty good. He's not a top tight end, but he's. I mean, they could be fine with him.
But they're not good. That team was not good last year, and I don't really know why we're assuming that the addition of Kyle Pitts is going to make them good. When we know rookie tight ends struggle, I know Kyle Pitts is a freak, but that's just a fact. We know that they struggle, and we see what.
You're the one that you believe in positionless football, though. I mean, he's not even really like a tight end. Like,
he's a guy. That's
big
fair.
receiver. Yeah,
that's fair.
He can block.
With that said,
but like yeah, like
with that said, the reason why that is something of note is because tight ends in college, when you look at guys like Eric Ebron, Vernon Davis, David Njoku, Kellen Winslow. The reason those guys are so successful in college is because they are so big, they're so fast, and they're so strong. And then when you go to the NFL, everybody's a little bit bigger, everybody's a little bit faster, everybody's a little bit stronger. So that all they have to adjust to that. The same thing, Kyle Pitts. Let's go ahead, call him a wide receiver. That's fine, but reasons he dominated are the same reasons why those guys dominate. So you could probably still anticipate he's a freak. He might be offensive rookie of the year. I don't know, but I don't think it's insane to predict that there's some adjustment period.
He's gonna be a Pro Bowler first year. I mean,
he might be. I don't know.
I don't think he will be. I think he'll have a good season. It depends. Like it's a weird spot for me, Josh, because like he is a tight end. He's the highest drafted tight end ever. But sorry about that. Yeah, he's the highest drafted tight end ever. 4 overall. I don't think there's been a tight end drafted higher than him.
God, I think that's wrong.
Maybe Ozzie? There was Ozzie drafted? I know Ozzie.
No, it's definitely not Ozzie.
I don't know, man. I think he is. Look it up though. Make sure I'm right.
Oh man, I'm not sure, dude.
I just think it's a weird spot because all those tight ends you named. I feel like they really relied on them a lot, man. Like they got double teamed. This dude's gonna be 1-on-1. Like he's got Julio and Calvin Ridley.
Yeah,
you're right. And he's got he's got Matt Ryan. Who people talk about Matt Ryan all day. Falcons fans are weird about Matt Ryan. There's a really big group that doesn't like him. The group that loves him thinks he has a few years left. I'm on the other side. I think he does.
You're right. By the way, you're right. He is the highest drafted by 1 pick.
Who's the closest one?
Riley Odoms in 1972 out of Houston.
Oh, so the fuck is that? Sorry. I thought it'd be Vernon Davis. Vernon Davis is the best tight end I've seen.
Number 6
in the combine. Like,
yeah, he's a freak, dude.
But Pitts is close, dude, because like his numbers are really similar. He's bigger, too, I think, or maybe the same size.
He might be bigger.
I think he's taller,
but he's not as ripped.
Oh hell no! I've seen Vernon Davis and at a game, like versus the Chargers, dude. He's super ripped. But But no, anyway, what I'm trying to say with Falcons is I don't think the Falcons are that far away. They lost.
I can't believe you're saying that.
They lost 7 games by single-digit points, man. I mean, that's a close team. Like they had a lot of injuries. They got a coach. I really like their coach for this program. I mean, I think it's kind of Stefanski move a little bit. Like they're gonna Arthur Smith is a good coach. He knows how to coach up tight ends and quarterbacks well.
Had a good offense. You're right.
Yeah,
I'm
good
not
offense.
gonna argue with that.
He's hired a really good staff. They're doing a little bit more analytics in the front office department. Not Browns level, but somewhat. And there's some things there that they like, and they're going all in. I think with the draft picks they made, they picked a lot of veteran guys, a lot of guys that have a lot of playing time. It seems like they're not going project. They're going like
you're making a solid argument.
But their division, Panthers, solid team, but we don't know. I mean, it's Sam Darnold at quarterback. They got Christian McCaffrey, good defense. We'll see. They're really good defense, though. Obviously, Tampa Bay. And then
Tampa Bay and New Orleans are insane. They're both
The Saints are
great.
I don't
The
think they're
Saints are
insane
great.
anymore. You like Jameis a lot more than me, man.
I love Jameis, which is so funny because we had Ryan Keefe on the show. Shout out to Ryan Keefe, just had a baby yesterday. Congrats. We had Ryan Keefe on the show who we got in a very, very intense argument because we were talking about when Winston and Mariota came out and how much better Winston was, yada, yada, yada. And I disagreed with that. But I think Winston's a good quarterback. I think he's a great quarterback. I mean, shit, he threw for like 7 million yards and he was blind. He was blind, Donovan.
This is his chance to show if he's good. He has no excuses because he's got weapons.
Eye surgery. He had eye surgery. He can see that.
Even when he played, though, like he was good. He's not bad. He's just a bottom tier starting quarterback, and that's not what he was.
See, that's not fair. It depends on how you look at it.
That guy's not going to be a top 10 quarterback, man, in the NFL. He's
why?
Just not.
Tell me why.
He just doesn't have it, man, mentally. Like, and he's inaccurate. He threw 31 interceptions.
You can't throw that many
interceptions.
Pause. Mentally, I agree with you 100%. That's his issue.
That's half the difference.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, but he has. If you just look at his traits, right? Like let's use Madden as an example. Let's say you're given or arm strength rating, accuracy ranking. You know what I mean. Like and take mental out of it. God damn, dude. There's not a whole lot of quarterbacks that have a stronger, more accurate arm than him. And
he's the most interceptions like
those.
Ever,
but if you look at those interceptions, they're not inaccurate. It's not like when you saw Deshaun Kaiser throw picks where it's like, dude, where are you going with that? You know what I mean? It's like he's trying to thread the needle and it didn't. It's like it's not interceptions where he's inaccurate. It's interceptions to where you shouldn't be throwing the ball there. Does that make sense? And there's a difference. There's a difference.
I think they got
a poor decision.
They had him throwing a lot too, but he's gonna have to throw a lot with New Orleans. Maybe not as much, but because Arians.
But if he's proven that he's a more intelligent player. Here's the argument.
I don't even know if he starts. I think Taysom Hill's gonna end up starting games too. I think they're gonna go back and forth, and it's gonna be kind of a whole saga. I don't think either of them are the starting quarterback next year.
If he can't be, if Jameis can't beat Taysom Hill, then he's done.
I think Jameis is gonna. He's just a quarterback that will win you the game and have a bunch of highlights, like you said, one week, and then the next week he'll throw 4 interceptions and lose you the game. And I don't think Sean Payton's gonna have a headache doing that. And Taysom isn't gonna really do anything bad, or he's not gonna win you the game. He's not gonna lose it. They're like the polar opposite of each other.
I don't know. That's the problem. Is that Sean Payton's been with Drew Brees for so long? I don't know how much he can take a Jameis's 4 interception games. Well, I don't know
he'll have games where he throws 4 touchdowns, like you said, and 400 yards, and you're like, God, this is a Heisman Trophy winning top quarterback.
I don't know how much he was pulling the puppet strings. Does that make sense? Like Bruce Arians doesn't do that. Bruce Arians says, okay, you're the quarterback. I'm going to call the plays. You do what you need to do, right? So Tom Brady's a very smart player, right? So Tom Brady, he figures out, you know what I mean? Like Carson Palmer was the same way. He kind of does what he wants within the offense, right? Bruce Arians lays out the rules. You follow them within those rules. You do what you want, right? Like it's kind of like giving a kid a coloring book, dude. Here you can use any color you want, but stay in the lines. You know what I mean? I don't know how Sean Payton is. If he was like that, and Jameis Winston has to make big boy decisions like he did with Bruce Arians, I think you're right. I think he's in trouble. But if Sean Payton is more hands-on, like Bill Belichick's not like that. Bill Belichick is very much like, you're going to do what I say or else you're going to go home. If he's like that, then I think Winston can succeed. Just Winston can't make any decisions. And I don't know why.
It seems like Payton's the main play caller, and he's it would seem to me that since he's the majority play caller and the head coach, that he's very hands-on. It seemed like that way last year when Jameis had to come in and when Taysom played. Because when Taysom, I mean, he clearly had a game plan each for both of them. That was obviously. I mean, Taysom got more reps than Jameis last year, but obviously he had to change the game plan 100%. You know, when 9 was out there, and Taysom Hill, but. I don't know, man. We'll see. I just, Ian Book's there too, but.
Oh my God.
For your boy, Nate, right? Nathan. But he just texted me, by the way, like during this show right now. I don't know what it said, but it's Nathan Atkins. That's his name, right?
Yeah, he just texted you just now.
Yeah, I don't know what it said. I can't look at it because the screen will mess up and freeze. But he just texted me. But anyway, that's why I brought Ian Book up. But I don't know, man. We'll see. I'm not saying I hate Jameis. I did like Mariota over Jameis coming out, but they both
You don't like
obviously.
Jameis. You don't like Jameis. Of all the people we brought up on this
I don't hate
podcast,
him. I don't hate him.
let me rank the people that you hate.
I don't. Yeah, I don't hate him. I just don't think he's gonna be in the NFL for a long time, man. But he's never gonna be. He'll always kind of start games for people, but he's never gonna be.
I have never heard you say anything nice about Jameis Winston.
Jameis was fun, man. Like covering in Florida State.
Yeah, but you even said back then when we talk about his days at Florida State, you give a lot of credit to his talent because he had Kelvin Benjamin, Rashad Green.
It's just weird that like other people can have a lot of talent and somebody else can. It's just like people are like, oh, well. I'm like, dude, he had Jalen Ramsey, Dalvin Cook.
Yeah,
it's one of the best. It's one of the best teams of all time.
Yeah, and then when you talk about Marcus Mariota, we talk about how Oregon.
He had some. I mean, his team wasn't as good, but it's Oregon. Like the offense they ran. He's running like 700 plays a year. I mean, his stats are going to be a little inflated. Plus, he ran all those like screen passes on no huddles where it's like just crosses, easy double.
And for the record, I liked Jameis more than Marcus Mariota.
Who's the other quarterback in that draft, Josh? There's a couple. Because it was them two, 1 and 2, and then there's another one.
I don't remember, man.
I don't have my laptop in front of me right now, sadly, because I was watching the PGA on there. But,
I can look it up real quick, but like I actually had Jameis higher than Marcus Mariota in that draft, but the difference was Marcus Mariota gets labeled a bust, and Jameis wins. The argument was who was the bigger bust at the time, and
they've got time. They're not bust yet.
I don't think. No, they're done. I mean, they're done.
I thought you said Jameis was going to be good still, though.
I think there's time, but you can. I think it's you can.
I don't think they're bust yet.
They can turn it around, but it's very much like Tommy Maddox, right? Was Tommy Maddox a bust, even though he won NFL player, comeback player of the year, and he came back and led the Steelers to the playoffs? I think if you talk to most Denver fans,
he's a bust. I think he's just kind of like average.
Tommy Maddox.
Yeah, he's an average quarterback. He's not a bust. Tannehill's different because he's doing really well now, but people will label Tannehill a bust early, obviously. And now
Garrett Grayson was the next quarterback taken.
Who?
Garrett Grayson was the next quarterback taken.
Okay, to the Saints.
The Saints,
yeah. Which is funny. Damn, Garrett Grayson was the next. What was he, second round?
Third. There
wasn't a quarterback taken until shit. That's crazy, dude. Yeah, that was a weak quarterback class. Like it was like, well, everyone thought Jameis and Mariota would be really good, and then it was like huge drop off. I remember that. Everyone was saying like, there's just 2 quarterbacks in this class. That's it.
Yeah, Sean Mannion, Bryce Petty.
Manion's my guy, man.
Trevor Siemian.
Oh, it's a horrible draft class. Jesus Christ. No Pro Bowls.
I think that
not one damn.
I think you can call those guys. I don't know. I don't know if you can call them busts. I think you might be right there. We'll wait on.
Not yet.
It's like it's the Tommy, but it is the Tommy Maddox effect, right? Like if someone takes you, they expect you to be the guy, not for you to leave and be the guy somewhere else. True. If you leave and be the guy somewhere else, you do get deducted points, right? I mean, Tommy Maddox had to go to the goddamn XFL to get his way back in the NFL, just because he had a career, a good second half of his career. That does take you down a couple notches as far. Is he Ryan Leaf? No.
But like Tannehill, you were saying, like he would be considered a bust when he was in the Dolphins. But then now, he's having a great career. He's still got a long career ahead of him. So I don't want to label him yet. But yeah, I think Mariota. Obviously, Mariota's a backup quarterback, so he has less of a chance. But Jameis is Thomas now, man. He's in a better situation than he was the first team. I mean, he's really he's messed up so much and heard it from the media. Now he has like this whole story about like the comeback season. Everybody wants to be.
Dude, he's such a weird guy, though. He's so weird, man.
This is a good spot for him, man. I'm excited to see Jameis. I hope it works out for him, though. Even though I don't hate him, man. I really hope it works out for him. Like I just don't see it. But if it's going to work out,
we don't root against players. But.
No, Mariota's different because he's Carr's backup. He's one of the probably hot commodities to get traded.
Well, his issue. If someone loses
injury. He looked pretty good last year too, though, man. When Carr, he's a spot starter though, low end, like Teddy Bridgewater. Same. That's what I thought about him.
Yeah, I think it's hard for you to come back. If Jameis Winston becomes a smarter football player, he'll be great. it's Marcus Mariota has to not get hurt. I think that's a harder task.
Harder.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because Mariota's smart as hell. He's probably one of the
That was it.
quarterbacks.
That was the only knock on Mariota. He just always got hurt. I mean, people. I don't really know why people shit on him like he was not good. I mean, it took time to the playoffs when they had nobody. They had that running offense, and you know what I mean. Like
he's not good at he just can't throw deep. He doesn't even really try to throw deep balls.
I didn't think he was that bad at it. That's not something they did. I don't think they even asked him to do that.
Yeah, if you switch Jameis's arm strength and then gave Mariota the mental game with Jameis, that'd be nice to have. Jameis would be sick, dude, if he had. I don't know, man. I hated for both of those quarterbacks because they were really good. It was fun watching those guys. I mean, they got to play each other even in college towards the end there, so that was cool. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. That's that division. What I was trying to say was the division's not. And the Saints are still a playoff team, but they're not scaring anybody anymore, dude. Like really.
You don't think so?
No, not really. The Tampa Bay is obviously. I mean, it's the best team in football, but like it's a one team. Like. You finish second in that division. The Falcons can win 10 games, is what I'm trying to say. Well, I guess it's 17 games this year, so they probably need to win 11. Because I forgot it's 17. I hate that shit. I'm old school. I want 6. I'm not going to say teams need to be 10-7 or some shit. Like, that's weird.
I know.
Or
dude,
10.
I don't know why they keep extending these seasons. That's a good conversation for a podcast.
It's good for fantasy football, though.
Yeah, but there's a certain point where you stop forgetting that these people are human beings. You get wearing the tire. There's a reason. I want to witness greatness, right? I want to be able to see Saquon healthy, be healthy. Saquon Barkley be healthy. You know what I mean? Like it's just 17 games is a lot. It's a lot, and it makes the game veer more towards the pass. And I just
it's gonna be a damn passing league 7-on-7.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like
I like the game how it is right now, but like I don't want them to change it. Like it's good right now. Like we don't need to. The past 10 years of football have been great to me. It hasn't really changed too much in the past decade.
See, man,
but 20 years though,
I really enjoyed watching LaDainian Tomlinson, Maurice Jones-Drew, Eddie George.
LT is I mean that's they're still LTs, not LTs. Don't.
But yeah, those guys aren't. Those 17 games is a lot. Those
you're
guys,
talking about the whole season, yeah.
That's a lot to ask for a guy. The day of those running backs taking over a game, I don't think it's gonna. It's a lot. 17 games to get that many carries. It's unnecessary. You know who the best team is. You don't need 17 games, man. They do the same thing in college. That's a conversation we should have on another podcast too. It's like, oh, well, they're amateur athletes. They're amateur athletes. They're amateur athletes. And me, again, I'm a very old school individual. I don't think that they should be. I want to be very careful because last time we talked about this, I got grilled. I have no problem discussing guys getting paid for their likeness. As far as schools, I'm sorry.
No, I agree with you. I'm all about guys should get paid for their likeness. Like, but Baker Mayfield made Oklahoma's, or Johnny Manziel is always the best example because that whole stadium renovation was like based off him and Mike Evans. Yes. All the number. I have a number 2 A&M jersey with Manziel on the back. I had it when he was in college. Like he should get paid for that. Like I'm a grown man wearing his jersey while he's in college. He should be making money off of it. And
I'm okay having a conversation about that.
Yeah.
As far as schools giving these guys money or paying these guys, I'm against that. These guys are in college. I know I didn't play at Ohio State, but I was around the Ohio State program. It's a pretty large program. I did play Division I college ball. Again, small program, but you
tell
lose
him, Josh.
At a certain point. No, but at a certain point you lose. I mean, that was the big problem with Terrell Pryor, is that at a certain point he didn't feel he was a college student, right? And you see that with the transfer portal opening up, dude, have you looked at the transfer portal? This is a conversation we're going to have later, but the transfer portal. So when you enter the transfer portal, you give up your scholarship. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
And then you have to hope that you can get a scholarship from another school. Right now, there's more players in the transfer portal than there are scholarships available. Because you can't give out teams. If you lose a player to the transfer portal, you don't get an extra scholarship. Each team gets like 28 Division I FBS program gets like 28 scholarships a year. So if you transfer out, that's not an extra scholarship that they gain. Did you know that? Are you aware of this?
Yeah, I knew that. And those kids aren't gonna, they're there's not a lot of gray shirts. There's a few, but there's not a lot of gray shirts, and you can only red shirt. Those guys in the portal aren't going to want a red shirt.
And when you transfer out,
they want to play right away.
And you have these guys, and I have no problem with guys transferring. I have no problem at all. But you're having guys transferring because they're trying to get an opportunity to make it to the NFL, right? You have guys like Tate Martell who are on their third school. We've made this culture to where these guys, even the guys that aren't going to make it, feel like they're going to make it, and that's not good. That's not good for I'm all for getting these guys healthy and pay. But you got playing 6 months. They're playing 14 games now. You know what I mean? It's just there's a fine line. And these guys, a guy like is Tate Martell better? Tate Martell better off transferring once, realizing it's not for him, having a sit down conversation with someone, and getting a degree in something that's worth his time and being a professional, or should he transfer 4 goddamn times? He
did just graduate from Miami, by the way.
Did
last
he?
Week. Yeah, he did. But
what's his degree in?
Oh, like business management or some shit.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
But it's just.
But he did. But I know Jimmy. I'm just saying he did just graduate. So shout out to Tate.
Yes.
Graduating from Miami. He actually couldn't transfer because he's still in college at Miami, but now he can. So that's good.
He's in the transfer portal though.
He's in the portal, yeah, but he was waiting because he's still in classes in Miami. But now he's done. So because you don't want to be at Miami going to class, dude. You're trying
but
to finish.
You can do that.
You
guys
can,
do that all the time.
It's tough. Yeah, you can. It's hard. I give those guys
you just
credit.
don't go to football. You don't go to football practice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like Kelly Bryant entered the transfer portal halfway through the college football season when he was at Clemson.
Yeah. There's a lot of guys.
He went to class.
I mean, I agree with you on that. I like the portal and everything. It's cool, but
yeah, I'm cool with it. It's just you gotta be. You just ride that fine line.
It's a lot of games. Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot. You want to sit here and tell me that they're students, they're college students first, and then I'm staring at a 16-game schedule. You know what I mean? It's well, that's an NFL schedule. You're making these kids play an NFL.
Hey, at least now they can't. You remember with old school days when they're like, oh, that schedule's tough when they rookies when they had to play in December and January in the NFL. Now they no one even talks about that anymore. I remember I used to hear that all the time. Can he last the whole NFL season? That's a lot different from now. It's
no, you don't hear that at all because guys, if you go to the college football playoff, shit, that's it, dude. That's it. You're playing an NFL schedule.
I've talked to a couple players though that said, well, the player I talked to was I talked to Alabama guy, so a little different because he was saying dude, he said they really don't even play a full schedule because they blow out so many teams. Alabama. He's we only play half games and shit. Because he was talking about how Tua played really literally he played all these games, but if you look at his snaps, he didn't
he played half. He played 8 half games.
Yeah,
that's fair. That's fair. I think that's
the average college team. Who's the average college team? Arizona Wildcats, right? 6-6 every year, pretty much. Whatever. Sorry, Arizona fans, but I mean, those guys are playing 12 games, and they've got a bowl game that's 13, and they got to wait a long ass time for those bowl games. You know that?
Yeah,
so,
man. And some of those guys will make.
They play in the Pac-12 championship. That's 14 games.
Yeah, and a lot of those guys will make it in the NFL. I'm not saying
Arizona
not, but some of them aren't going to make it. It's just like when everybody talks about when we talk about the likeness too. You see it. When I talk to people that don't follow, everybody who follows college football, and I'm not bashing anyone's intelligence, but everyone assumes that college football is like Alabama. And it's not. There's there's Akrons, there's Kent States, there's Mercers, there's other, Valparaiso, there's other college, the MAC, Sunbelt teams. Those guys, they're not going to benefit from that. And that's the majority of college football. Do you know what I mean? It's so some of that stuff needs to be considered when these rules change. A lot of those Alabama guys are going to go on and they're going to make money in the NFL. And even if they don't, they have a little bit of a cult following, just like at Ohio State. Even if you suck at Ohio State, you can make a good living signing autographs.
Jacob Coker did autograph signing a couple of weeks ago in Alabama. You remember Jacob Coker, dude?
Yeah, dude. See, he
had a line wrapped around the damn. My buddy was there. He does a lot of autographs and signings too. And he was dude, it was an hour and a half, 2 hour wait. I was for Coker, bro. He's yeah, he won a championship.
That shit ain't happening for guys at Akron.
No,
you know what I mean.
That's an outlier, man. If you got a Kareem Hunt type of guy, then whatever.
But that's not
Or
it's
great,
not,
what's the kid from Coastal? Grayson McCall, like that guy. Yeah, like he's a name. He has a jersey he sells. He's like probably one of the only
does
guys
he?
on that team. Yeah, I'm sure he has like local jersey sales and likeness he can do around Carolina. He's a big name, dude.
Maybe.
Grayson McCall, yeah. I'm just trying to think of a small school guy that's like, or what's the 49ers?
Boise State's
What's the
probably a better
kid?
example.
Trey Lance.
That's a good example because there's nothing in North Dakota. Coastal Carolina might struggle a little bit because people.
Yeah, there's so many other teams in.
Yeah, or like Appy State. Appy State's. Well, no, yeah,
Appy
whatever.
State's got, their
Trey
fan
Lance
base
is a good example.
crazy. Trey Lance is a perfect example though because they don't have anything like.
Yeah, he might be able to go to a car dealership.
Wyoming's the only 4-year university in
Wyoming.
So
he might have been able to make a little bit of money, but I don't think it's as much. You're gonna have your Chase Youngs, your JT Barretts, your Johnny Manziels, your Derrick Henrys. Those guys are gonna make millions of dollars while they're in college. But a large majority of these guys, they're not. You're just making the gap between the haves and the have-nots even bigger, right? We talk about parity in college football. And that's one of the reasons it's great. It's a guy, Boise State can beat Oklahoma, but when you create these rules, people just don't consider that. But then we kind of went off of a tangent there. I just feel like sometimes we lose sight that these people are human beings.
Yeah, I mean, football too. It's like football is obviously what we always talk about, but then there's like basketball, which is a big sport. March Madness makes a ton of money, and honestly, the NCAA makes more money off of the March Madness. That's a whole different argument.
Yeah, but basketball is also a different sport, right? Just like swimming or volleyball, the wear on your body is not the same. You know what I mean? When you're bad, it's just not. It's not.
You get more small school big play. I mean, Ja Morant. Right now, I know you don't really watch basketball, but that dude at Murray, he went to Murray State. He's won Rookie of the Year. He's a star player now in the NBA. He would have made so much money and Murray State, dude. You might have played them.
The Rangers, yep.
Yeah. Like that's not a big school. Murray State. I don't know if you played them, but Murray State.
We did play them. They had an Ohio State running back that transferred to them.
Okay.
When I was in school, I can't remember the guy's name now.
Yeah, or Adam Morrison, Gonzaga, whatever. Like somebody like that. Like But yeah, your JJ Reddicks and Blake Griffins that went to Oklahoma, Duke, and all these big school North Carolina guys, like they're gonna make Zion, right? That's a perfect example too. Zion made they did a study on how much money he would have made if he obviously it's Zion Williamson, he's a star before he even got there. That's different. But like you said, the Toledo's basketball team. I can't name you one guy off of that basketball team, dog. Ever. So is he really gonna what is he gonna make?
I know. So you're making so you have a lot of these high school recruits that maybe a guy like Ben Roethlisberger went to Miami, Ohio to play, right? Because he knew if he went to a big school, he'd be sitting the bench. Well, now if you can get paid at a local car dealership, you might go to Ohio State just to sit the bench and cash a check. I don't know if that's the best situation. You know what I mean? You're muddying the waters a little bit, and
I agree with that. I think it'll still be some cases like a Joe Burrow though, where that guy leaves Ohio State as a bench guy and then goes to LSU and boom, there goes his millions. And he had to work at it. It just didn't happen like that overnight, obviously. But I'm saying,
but he might not have left. He might not have left if he was still getting paid because he was Mr. Ohio. He's from Athens.
You think so though? You think he would have taken a little? Think about.
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know. If he probably would have left.
Some guys wouldn't have taken the chance, is what you're saying? They wouldn't have taken the chance.
Yeah, he probably would have left because he comes from a family that did. He's not. But you've talked to some of these dudes, right?
Joe Burrow's family is not very.
Huh?
Javon Kinlaw's the always dude. Yeah, that's his story.
That guy would never leave if someone's given. You know what I mean? I feel like you muddy the waters a little bit on what's going on. But a guy like Joe Burrow probably still would leave because he don't need. His family is fairly well off, from my understanding.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The family doesn't need the money. Is what I'm trying to say. There's Kinlaw, dude. Yeah, they live in a homeless shelter, bro, in college. So
that's a lot of pressure, dude. You talk to that kid. That kid dealt with that pressure for a long time.
He's just crying, bro.
I know.
It's the only player I've interviewed that cried before. That shit was crazy.
We create this atmosphere where we don't think of them as we only think about them as human beings when something weird happens, like whether it's I don't want to get. I don't know. If when Ryan Shazier got paralyzed, like that, now we're talking about him being a human being. You know what I mean? It's just I don't. We pick and we pick and choose when they're people. We pick and choose when they're athletes, and we pick and choose when they're millionaires. And when you don't think about all those guys, At Browns Wire, I try to do a good job of focusing on those guys Blake Jackson, the wide receiver, he's in training camp for the Browns every year. He's made the roster like twice. He's been in training camp like 5 times in a row. That dude plays football year round, Donovan. He plays football year round. He goes 3 NFL. Last year he was in an NFL training camp. He played in the spring. He played in the spring league. He got picked up in the CFL. Went to CFL training camp. Got picked up by the Browns with the Browns training camp. Was with the Browns for a couple weeks. Got cut. Then he went to the spring league in the fall, and then he played in the spring league in the spring again. That dude didn't get a break because he's out there grinding. He's just trying to live his dream, trying to follow his dream and get and do it for a living, bro. But when you when you talk about the NFLPA, you talk about contracts and all of this. Everybody focuses on guys like Patrick Mahomes, Baker Mayfield, the guys that are getting paid. There's more layers to it. Just like when we talk about college football, everybody talks about. And I'm guilty of it too. You talk about Ohio State, Michigan, but you don't think about those guys at Miami, Ohio, or those guys at Akron. They're people
Central
too.
Michigan. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like we got. I don't know. The shit gets muddied sometimes, but that's a discussion that we should talk about at another podcast. Really exploring what our thoughts are on the transfer portal and expanded playoffs, right? Because that's even more games for these college kids that are amateur athletes. I mean, like I said, I'm a pretty old school individual, but. How many games can a goddamn amateur play? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I agree with you too on the you brought up a good point about the wear and tear because a lot of people would say, well, basketball guys have to play all these games. I'm like, that's different, man. Like you ask any hooper, like I've interviewed some of those guys too. Like they've never complained about that. Like they will play back to backs. Now they don't want to play too many back to backs, but they'll play a back to backer. They grew up in AAU tournaments. They play like 3 or 4 times a day, dude. Like, that's basketball. It's different. Like, you can't compare basketball to football.
And I don't want to say that each sport has their own, just like gymnastics, right? Gymnastics is just you going out there. Even track, each sport has their own wear and tear that they contain. I'm not bashing any of those other sports, but football, you're slamming into each other. It's the shelf life. No one's ever playing a pickup game of football. Right, you don't do that. 50-year-olds don't go out and play a pickup game of football. That ain't happening.
At the
right?
Y, yeah.
You're not seeing videotapes of Adam Sandler playing football. You're right. You can go shoot. You can go shoot hoops till they die, pretty much, right? Unless something, you get wear on your knees, right? Some of those guys can't. They walk funny because their knees are all messed up because they run. But football, we talk about CTE and shit. I mean, those companies. I think Earl Campbell was at an autograph signing. A couple like this past weekend, I think he's in a goddamn wheelchair. You know what I mean? Like it's just football's it's just different. It just flat out the wear and tear on your body is more detrimental to your quality of life. I think. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense, man. Like I said, talking to basketball guys, it's just like they don't really even bring that shit up. Like football players I've talked to, be like, yeah, like we got to get rested. Like basketball is just like you go and you play and. Like your legs are tired, like you say, your knees a little bit, and you get injuries in basketball, but it's just not the same, dog.
Like, you get injured taking a shower. You know what I mean? Like I dropped the soap the other day, and I think I threw up my back. Like, you can't get injured doing anything, bro.
Dirty life. Yeah, it's part of it. Yeah, but I mean, football is just. I mean, that's why American football is tough, man. I mean, it's tough to play every week, and that's why it's so fun to have it once a week because I couldn't. Even those short weeks, man, it's tough for some of those guys that play on like Thursday night and have to come back and play. Or Monday night football games and then come back and play on Sunday.
Or those kids and doing action on Thursday nights, they got to go to class, and it's we don't think about that stuff. We don't think about how hard it is for.
Yeah, I've never. That'd be something I want to ask a MAC player. I've never asked a MAC player about having to play on Thursday and Wednesday night so much because I've interviewed. The coolest MAC player interview was the Western Michigan quarterback from a few years ago. Man, I can't think of his name right now. Help me out, man. Western Michigan.
Phil Lester.
No, I don't know who that is, but Western Michigan quarterback.
There's so many.
He was just there like in the past 5 years. Like I can't think of his name. He was a 3-year, 4-year starter. Like.
I'm sorry. Was it Tim Lester, dude?
No, not Tim Lester. Damn it.
Actually, Tim Lester's the head coach.
He got picked up by the Ravens practice squad, but he ended up not playing for him. I can't think of his name, but he was one of my favorite interviews ever. I can't think of his name. I can't believe you don't know his name.
Oh, Zach Terrell.
Yeah. Zach Terrell. I love that guy, man. I got like 30 minutes with him.
Yeah, he was
like
good. He broke a lot of records.
Yeah, he was cool. He knew he was gonna play in the NFL. He was like, I'm gonna play for as long as I can, man. He's like, I got stuff I want to do after football, man. Like, he's like, I want to be a business executive. Yeah, that's what he's doing now. I saw.
Well, he wanted to be an NFL quarterback, but who's the old Kansas quarterback that's that won the Orange Bowl? Reesing, Todd Reesing.
Yeah.
Todd Reesing like sells insurance now, bro. Like,
yeah, that's what Coker does in Alabama. He sells insurance, life insurance.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's what a lot of those guys have to do.
Yeah, for sure.
It just seemed like Zach Terrell kind of like. I've heard Greg McElroy, speak, and he already he played like 3 years in the NFL, but he already had like a plan what he wanted to do after. Like some of the guys don't have a plan. Like they have like a plan. They'll be like, well, I want to do that, but they don't have like a plan. Like they have major and they want to do something, but like Mahomes, like I guess that's not a good example because he got drafted so high in baseball. But Lamar Jackson, like. He was going to play in the NFL and be good, or I don't know what the hell his backup plan was going to be. Like,
I told you, I told you off air. I'm not going to drop any names on the podcast, but from my time at Ohio State, it would blow your mind how many people are driving an Audi R8, which is an $80,000 car. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little. They're at least $60,000 though. And then 6 months later, they're calling me saying, "Hey, dude, is your job hiring?" Like, you know what I mean? Like that shit happens. It's just,
it's crazy.
It is. It's wild. It's wild, but that's life. I wanted to talk about Tim Tebow a little bit before we got off here because I know that was kind of a hot. I saw you retweeting it, and you were kind of passionate about that.
I don't know, man. I got a lot of hate from that, from a lot of respected people, but
you got a lot of hate from it, and I don't know why. You want to talk about it a little bit because I feel
man. It's just like it's not that deep. Like I don't know. People are like, and I feel bad.
You nailed it. You nailed it. That's the sentence. That's the argument. It's not that goddamn deep.
People are like,
why are people so passionate about it?
Yeah, I guess. Okay, when people
and it was genius too. It was a genius sign. Tell me, shout out to Ryan Stewart, who was on Urban Meyer's staff a few years ago at Ohio State. This is a genius play by Urban Meyer because if he comes in, his I can't remember his exact words, but he said if he comes in and he sucks. Who cares? You cut him, you ain't paying him dick, and you still sold a shit ton of jerseys. And let's not forget the dude's from Florida. Where what?
He's from Jacksonville, not just Florida.
Yeah, no shit.
They've been waiting on signing him for like 10 years, bro. They wanted to draft him.
Dude.
Because they had Blaine Gabbert, and they were like, I mean, they probably might as well just draft him.
If he is good, then he looks like a goddamn hero. What I don't understand, we know, and it's not like they hired some dude. Tim Tebow was a good athlete. Are we just not remembering? And it's not like he stopped playing football. It's not like he stopped playing sports and lost 40 pounds. He played for the Mets like 2 years ago or like last year. He played last year. He played professional. He played a professional sport last year. We've seen him. He still weighs like 240 pounds.
The thing said it's bigger right now.
I don't understand I don't understand where the hate comes from.
It's so crazy, man. People are just putting way too much. They're trying, like, man, it's just crazy. They're putting like race and like religion into it. I'm like, bro, chill out. Like, I get it, bro. Cringe. Like, there's players I've talked to them like, oh, that's a roster spot taken away. I'm like, you go.
But you see that all the time. It's not like track. Where you have these times and some person is significant, some person is. I know that this person's faster than this person. You see guys that have roster spots that suck all the time. Shit, we talked about Deshaun Kaiser on the podcast last week. That dude's still in the NFL. Dude's still in the NFL. There's guys that suck all the time in the NFL.
Bro, what's Brody Coyle played for like 6 years.
Yeah, dude, I don't understand.
He's why I want to like. He was so. I mean, Brady Quinn had a long career in the NFL, dude.
Yes,
like, after we knew he was bad. Like, he didn't get better. Matt Barkley's still in the NFL, dude. Like,
there's guys that are constantly better that aren't playing in the league. There's guys that are there's all the time. There's guys that aren't in the NFL. I mean, it's just like anything. You know what I mean? Like, personal roles play a part in this game. I don't know why people are so passionate about it. I got called. I tweeted something out and I got called a Tebow lover. And for the record, when Tebow. Tebow's fine. I don't have an issue with them. I'm not. I think I got a Tebow time shirt that I got for like $5 at Goodwill or some shit. You know what I mean? I got 2 of his jerseys. I got his Jets jersey and his Broncos jersey because they were $20 when he was gone. But it's not like when he decided to quit the first time or retire when he was forced out, and he refused to play any other position other than quarterback. I said, dude, if he loved the game, he'd go up north in the CFL. If he truly loved the game, he would play in the CFL. And I said that back then, and I still believe that now. But he's grown, he's matured. His favorite coach of all time is back in the NFL. I mean, kind of the start. How did you not see this coming? I don't see the big deal. I just don't.
Somebody, I don't remember who it was. They tweeted about this way before it happened. They're like, man, it'd be interesting to see Tim Tebow in a Jags jersey with Urban down there. And it just makes sense. Like, he's going to be used as like a Taysom Hill role at best anyway. He'll have a couple throws, maybe 2 or 3 gadget plays, and like, he'll be a tight end, H-back.
He's already in a top 5 selling jersey.
Dude, he's from Nice High School right in Jacksonville. He's born and raised in Jacksonville. I know he's born in the Philippines because of the mission stuff, but you know what I mean. He's born and raised in Jacksonville. He's a legend. It's Tim Tebow, bro.
Dude, you see it all the time. The Browns constantly bringing guys from local Ohio colleges for tryouts and stuff. Why? Because they're in Ohio. Like, shit like that happens.
What's the backup quarterback for Baker? Case Keenum?
Yeah.
If he goes down, right, and Stefanski wants to bring in fucking JT Barrett for
people are gonna be psyched to buy
dude, who cares? Like,
yeah, you know what I mean? Like, if that's the difference, you're talking about.
I know that's not fully similar because Stefanski didn't coach in college. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I know exactly.
Or if JT
if
JT went to the Jags because
no one
Urban
would
coached him, right? Yeah.
Dude. If you think this is the first person that no one gave a shit. When Pete Carroll was drafting dudes only from the Pac-12.
I remember that. No, he was picking up a bunch of a lot of his late round picks were USC guys. Chad Wheeler,
guys from the Pac-12, like Richard Sherman. That's why Richard Sherman was a Seahawk. If Pete Carroll wasn't in the NFL, I don't know if we would have seen the same Richard Sherman. You know what I mean? Like, that's how the NFL works. When Butch Davis was hired for the Browns, he drafted nothing but Florida guys. Now, is that a bad example?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. But that shit happens. Like,
you draft guys you're familiar with, though.
Bill Belichick drafts dudes from Alabama because he has sex with Nick Saban. Like, that's do you know what? I don't. Dude, this is how it works. And to compare it with,
look at the guys Cliff has gotten from Arizona. It's a lot of guys he recruited, and Kyler Murray, Christian Kirk is another guy that he coached at A&M. So,
yeah, dude.
A lot of there's a backup quarterback that he recruited heavily. Chris Streeter or something like that, or one of the I don't know. Strevler, yeah. He recruited him pretty heavily too. So I mean, it's like at Houston, I think.
Minnesota.
So I mean, it's all. Matt Rule is not doing that at all. He's like the opposite. He's not doing that at all. I think.
Do we know that for sure?
That's what they made. That's what they made it.
Sam Darnold College or something. Have some kind of weird. I feel like it's impossible.
It seems like they've been saying that Matt Rule's been kind of like doing he was trying to do the opposite on purpose. Like, he didn't want any Baylor guys and he didn't want any Big 12 guys. But he did get Chuba Hubbard though.
Yeah, I
even he got Chuba Hubbard.
Well, what's the difference between this and you hear guys having combine interviews and coaches coming out saying, yeah, we really liked him. We really think he clicks with the organization and we have a personal connection with him. It's the same thing. That's the beautiful thing about football is it's so much about having the right person in the locker room, having this now and that. Now, could this backfire? Yeah, totally. I think it's already paid dividends. I think it could backfire because you have guys that may be saying the same thing that you're seeing on Twitter. Like, well, this another guy, I know a guy who's better. Tim Tebow could suck my dick, right? He's a very polarizing player. It's not just because people think he's bad. Tim Tebow's polarizing. That's one of the reasons why he didn't make it in the NFL. Because if we're being honest, we've seen a lot worse quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, was he really the worst quarterback we've ever seen?
No, he wasn't nearly as bad as people were making out.
And there's been guys that were worse that played longer than Tim Tebow, but he was polarizing. The media around him and the aura around Tim Tebow was not the issues that his aura created off the field was not worth his skill set.
Yeah,
and that's fine. That's also a part of the game. I know he's a very nice guy, a God-fearing individual, and he's a perfect person. the attention that he had was not worth the price of his skill set, and that's why he was out. But people act like he was some fucking homeless guy. It's just, you know what I mean? The guy won a Heisman Trophy. He was good. He won a playoff game too. He's got more playoff wins than Matt Stafford. Like, it's weird. I don't know, man. It's fucking strange, dude.
It's weird, man. I don't know. I just think it's a good spot. And I know Trevor has had a relationship with Tebow before.
I've heard that.
Yeah, they've had a relationship before. Christian Fellowship athletes, CFA thing. So they had a relationship there. So that's good. You know what I mean? And just him going back to Jacksonville, back to Duval County is good. Back with Urban Meyer, back with some familiar faces that he knows. Plus the way that I'm just saying, like, if they brought him in at quarterback, I'd be like, this is stupid. They already have 4 quarterbacks in the roster. Like, it'd be dumb.
I wouldn't have cared even if they would have brought back.
I mean, it would just be pointless. Like, because he's not better.
Yeah,
than
for sure.
Minshew.
He wouldn't have played.
Yeah, he's not playing over Gardner or Trevor or even. They have another quarterback there, the tall. I'm not about to try to think of this dude's name, but anyway, they're fine at quarterback. But this is tight end. They actually don't really have a tight end, like a good one.
I mean, I don't know, man.
He's not going
to care where they sign him. He's got a young and impressionable team. They're restarting from scratch. It might not be a bad idea to have a dude like Tim Tebow in the locker room. Plus, the hype. The big issue with Tim Tebow is that everybody when he went to the New York Giants, there were 70 cameras in his face. When he went to the Jets, I'm sorry, there were 70 cameras in his face immediately. It never died out. I think that some of that's gone. The Tim Tebow lackluster. You saw that with the minor league games when he played against the Columbus Clippers, and the stadium was packed to the gills. The first time, the second time, it's just a dude now. He's just a dude
Jacksonville
now.
Eat it up for the first couple of games, but like they're going to see Trevor Lawrence. And
the media.
You're talking about the media.
Is ESPN going to be up in his face constantly? I don't think that's going to die. He's just a dude now, man.
That first game's going to be interesting because Jacksonville plays Houston, so Houston's got a lot of shit going on. So so the media is going to probably be around for that, especially if Watson's playing.
That's what I'm saying. So back in the day when Tim Tebow was the starting quarterback for the Broncos, even if let's say we're going back in time and the Broncos, the old school throwback Broncos are playing the Houston Texans today with Deshaun Watson. Tim Tebow, being a god, would create more national attention than the sexual scandal, the allegations that are going with Deshaun Watson. That's how polarizing Tim Tebow was. Now, dude, they ain't gonna fucking put one camera on Tim Tebow, dude.
I don't know about one camera, but
you know what I mean. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but that ain't gonna be the storyline, dude. You got Deshaun Watson storyline number 1, and storyline number 2 is Trevor Lawrence making his first start, and then maybe Tebow.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Urban Meyer might be number 3. Tebow might be the 4th headline.
Yeah, you're right. Because he's gonna play he'll get 10 snaps, dude.
Dude, it don't fucking matter. And he's not terrible. He's not a bad athlete. I don't understand. Yeah. It ain't like he did nothing. He played professional baseball. He's still jacked. Like, it's not like it's strange. It's strange. And to compare, I don't want to get political. But to compare, I saw a lot of comparisons to why does Tebow get a job and not Kaepernick, and I don't see how it matters. Does that make sense? I don't see.
Matter. It's just different, man.
He didn't coach. Urban Meyer didn't coach Kaepernick. So I need to be like, I don't see the connection. What's the problem?
It's just different.
You know what I mean?
That Kaepernick situation was just different, man. That's not, you can't compare those situations.
That
shit's an outlier, bro. We've never seen anything like the Kaepernick situation ever. Like, not even Jim Brown or anything, because this is just it's just different. Like,
even if let's take the off-field issues aside, right? Or I don't want to use the word issues because that'll light people up. But Tim Tebow and the Colin Kaepernick's polarization, let's take those aside. If you look at Urban Meyer's resume, wouldn't it be weird if he signed Kaepernick over Tim Tebow? He basically they hang out like Tim Tebow's like his little.
They live 3 houses down.
He's like his puppet master, and has been that way since he's 17 years old. I'm just blown away by it. Right? It'd be like if Harbaugh came back to the NFL and signed Kaepernick, I wouldn't blink an eye. Like, I would be like, oh yeah, he's got a connection with him, whatever. You know what I mean? Or Chris Hall.
Yeah. Chris Hall or I was about to say Jim Harbaugh. I mean, the same thing. I guess Greg Roman too, but Roman didn't get a head coaching job, did he?
No.
He should have. He hasn't had a head coaching job yet. That's crazy.
His
offenses are always really good, but
they
I don't think
it's the same issue everywhere he goes.
Yeah,
just like he did in San Fran, just like it's doing in Baltimore, where he does not adjust. He runs the same 5 goddamn plays.
He was the offensive coordinator for the Jets when they had Mark Sanchez too. I think.
Yeah, you're right. I think he was with the Bills when Rex Ryan.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, but he was definitely the OC of Mark Sanchez.
He just his shit gets stagnant and he doesn't adjust. You saw the same thing with that Michigan defensive coordinator. I can't remember his name, but it was like they would shut Brown. Yeah, they would shut like 10 people out, and then the last 2 games, someone would figure it out, and he'd be like, "Nah, we're staying. We're not moving." And it's like, dude, you gotta fucking do something because they're blitzing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I like
that shit.
I'm surprised. I thought Roman got a job, but yeah, you're right. Either way, I was just thinking about the Greg Roman because he coached he was offensive coordinator for the Super Bowl team for the 49ers.
Yeah, he's a great offensive coordinator. He could put on a goddamn coaching clinic watching him. Remember, he had that game. Was it like Thanksgiving? Was the Niners and the Lions? And Frank Gore had like his first 3 carries went for like 0 yards, and then his next 2 carries went for like 75 yards combined. It was the same 2 plays where he brought the tight end. He brought the tight end down on Ndamukong Suh, different directions. It was Delaney Walker.
Damn, you gotta get. I mean, I have a good memory too, but I don't remember that.
It was just I just remember because it was brought up. It was brought up in like some kind of meeting I was in where we were trying to learn how to run that play. I think when I was in college we tried to do something similar, and we were talking about like being patient or whatever. So that game sticks out in my mind. But like he has a lot of games like that where like he puts on a coaching clinic. He just gets stagnant though. That's why his shit don't change.
Yeah. Hopefully he'll do something different with Lamar and those guys this year.
Yeah, because that's what you're seeing is that people are starting to figure it out a little bit.
Yeah, that's fair.
But all right, man, we've been on the horn for about an hour 20. Even though I told you it would be 20 minutes, you'd be out. I know you're exhausted. Thank you for coming on. Let's give it, dude. People give Donovan a big shout out, bro. Been on vacation, comes on a podcast. I know that I would have told you to fuck right off if you would have invited me on a podcast when I was in Vegas for 5 days. So. I appreciate you coming on, man.
Got to get the views, man. Got to get the listens. So I appreciate you having me. Always fun doing this show. It'll be out this week, guys. So check it out. Obviously, this live stream yard. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, Facebook, thanks. But always, man. Yeah, it's a pleasure. It's fun.
Where can they find you on Twitter and all your stuff?
Yeah, find me on Twitter at Don James Sports. Name remains the same. As far as stuff goes, I think I'm already done with the top 100. 2020 prospects, the big board. I gotta release it. I gotta write the like little notes because I already have it ranked. But you can't just have like 100 players. You gotta have some like notes on why you have them ranked where they are.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of just rankings.
I do see a lot of those.
I think it's early. I think it's early enough to where you can do it and it be acceptable.
Yeah, it is. I just want to highlight a few players. It's not gonna be a lot, but mainly a lot of quarterbacks like Sam Howell, Spencer Rattler, JT Daniels, Slovis, those guys, and then some of the position players too. So maybe 10 will be highlighted, 15, and that'll be out this week. And then, I mean, that's it really right now. I mean, I'll hope to go to some camps for high school football.
Yeah,
since they're back now. Last year we couldn't go to any of them, so I was watching like Elite 11 like online, like I had a press media pass, but it was all Zoom related, and that sucks. So it's cool to have it back. Hopefully be back in Oregon soon. I don't really like it in Texas. No disrespect to Texas.
Really?
I love Texas, but I miss it at the Nike headquarters, man. It's nothing. You're at the Nike headquarters in Oregon. It's beautiful up there, man.
I've never been. That's the problem. I've never been.
If you're a sports fan, you're just gonna be in awe the whole time. You're like, oh my god, this is awesome. They have the Odell Beckham catch.
Oh yeah,
the gloves. Yeah, they have those on display, and like you can do the replica of it, or not replica, but like you try to do it. Yeah, it's cool. It's fun.
Have you ever been to the Woody Hayes Athletic Center in Columbus?
No, man. I've never been. I've only been to Ohio once. It was Cincinnati.
It's where Ohio State keeps all their trophies, and it's all their Heismans and there. It's pretty crazy. Like to just see all that history, because. Shit, I mean, they got the national championship trophy from like 1942.
Yeah, man. Troy Smith, Heisman.
Oh yeah, that's there. Yeah.
True,
But
so.
I appreciate you coming on. I'm excited to talk high school football with you. Big shout out to also Ryan Stewart, who is one of my old Valpo coaches that hooked me up this past weekend. You can look forward to an interview with me with 4-star outside linebacker Gabe Powers from Marysville High School on Buckeyes Wire, Browns Wire. We're trying to move the needle there. I know I wrote a recent article on the Browns' history in the 6th round, so go ahead and check that out. But Donovan's already been a great help on the recruiting front, trying to get back in it with the Buckeyes Wire, trying to figure these recruits out. So I'm excited to get to. We'll be diving into some college football previews and stuff like that. We get rolling. Let us know what you want us to talk about. Let us know what you want to hear. Whether it's draft recaps or previews or college football stuff. This was the Browns Wire podcast. Make sure you give us a like, listen, review. Again, we're available on all streaming platforms. And if you are watching us on YouTube, make sure to subscribe. And again, you can follow me on Twitter at Josh Keatley 16. And we are out.